What's up? I'm Nate, and this is probably gonna be one of the most important videos that I ever make. And I'm confident that it'll be one of the most important videos that you ever watch if you're a certain type of person. If you're a service provider, like a copywriter, growth operator, or agency owner, and you provide service or work for coaches selling courses and communities, or if you yourself are a coach selling a course or community, if you're either of those two things, then you can use what I'm about to tell you in this video to make a significant amount more money doing what you're already doing. And I say this, and I know this because for a good portion of the last year, worked with this giant social media marketing agency and sold over $277,000 worth of digital products, including courses and communities for these coaches. And over the time working with them, I realized that there's a lot more that goes into a sales funnel and optimized selling system than meets the eye. So that's what I'm going to be diving into in this video. And I'm going to be going way behind the scenes, stuff that nobody talks about, stuff that you don't see. And there's two routes I can take with this video. I could explain the basic sales funnel setup and the system that every coach uses, right, in this space, in the info product space, which looks something like traffic to the free value lead magnet opt-in page, targeted email and SMS marketing, pushing them to a sales page, you push them to a VSL, and if it's a high ticket, pushing them to the book a call page. If it's a low ticket, just a sales page, whatever it may be. That's kind of the whole system. But if you're watching this video, you probably already know that, because if you spent longer than 2 months in this business, then you'll know that, because this is common knowledge. And that's not what I'm going to be revealing in this video. I'm going to be explaining the intricacies of what it takes to actually succeed in this business. And like I said, the stuff that nobody talks about, because that's the stuff that's really important. And most people will try to put a price tag on it, sell it as a, join my mentorship, I'll show you. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to reveal what I've learned and what I've used. All right. Because anyone can set up a basic sales funnel and get basic average results. I'm going to be talking about what it takes to run a basic setup and sales funnel, but get extraordinary results, right? This is what separates the 10,000 monthly retaining revenue earners from the 100,000, right? I'm just going to get right into it. No fluff, no nothing. Got the whiteboard here, about to dive in, but really quickly, if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to get rich, only if you want to get rich, because that's my goal and that's what I'm going to help you do. So if you want to get rich, like and subscribe right now. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to start with something I got from Alex Hormozy, and we'll write it down. So there's four levers to any info product business, right? 4 levers. And the 4 levers are traffic, conversion, price, and churn. So once you have a basic understanding of the sales funnel and selling system that you're using, you need to understand these 4 levers. And so in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to dive in and dissect each and every one of these 4 levers: traffic, conversion, price, and churn. And by the end of this video, I promise you, if you apply what I'm telling you, you will make money doing what you're already doing. So listen up, stay focused, don't go on TikTok, and you're gonna find a lot of value in this. So let's get right into it. Starting with traffic. How are you getting traffic? How are you getting more leads? And how are you building an audience, right? There's 2 types of traffic. There's organic traffic, there's organic, and there is paid traffic, right? So organic traffic is the main form. That this is what everybody running these programs and selling these communities and these coaching programs use. They use organic content, or they use organic traffic from social media content. So from social media. And it's funny because if you pay attention to your For You page and everything that you're seeing, 9 times out of 10, when you see an educational video or even just a funny video, there'll be somebody in an info product space selling some sort of a community or a course, and it's just funny that when you actually pay attention to it, you'll see it a lot more often than not. At least in my case, that's what kind of I saw. So I thought that was funny. The reason why this is so effective is because it builds a lot more trust than paid traffic, for example. So paid traffic are things like ads, right? You'll get run pay-per-click ads, you'll get Facebook ads, YouTube ads, any sort of ads really. And you've seen these as well, but it probably was you perceived them a little bit differently than when you see a social media post, because it's an ad in your face that you just want to skip. You want to get to the original video that you clicked on. So that's why this is oftentimes better for building an audience and building trust, because instead of having 30 seconds to sell someone, you have infinite amount of time, because you're always on their For You page once they start to like your videos. So that's why social media is great. Most people use this, but paid traffic works as well. A lot of people will have more targeted paid ads for warm leads that that are already familiar, because then it's like, oh wait, I know who this is. It's not some random in my face, so it gives you more likely chance to convert. So people use that for that reason. But either way, you're going to need social media to start that, because of the biggest benefit, which is it works for both of these: personal brand. When you have a strong personal brand, you will have higher quality leads coming in, because they're leads that trust you, right? When you're building a cult-like following, and when you have all these people that absolutely love you, they're so much more likely to convert than random people who see your ads. And so that's why I said this can even be useful for when you're doing targeted ads for already warm leads in that audience. Those can push them deeper down the funnel. So that's what I would say about paid ads. So without traffic, the other three levers are useless, because you don't have your leads, so you can't really do anything, right? And this is because the other three leads are this is because the other three levers are the machine, and traffic is what you push into the machine, right? So this is the machine, right? And traffic is what you feed into the machine. So I just wanted to touch on traffic really quickly, because a lot of people have this down. If you look at social media, you see that it's relatively easy to generate traffic nowadays, but the machine, conversion, price, and churn are what most coaching businesses mess up on. So I am going to start by individually highlighting each and every one of them, and then I'm going to dive into how you can use these three together to optimize your system, and how they kind of have sort of a bi-directional relationship, right? Because one of them doesn't really work without the other, and the other doesn't. So you just have to master the whole system, and that's what I'm going to explain exactly how you can do that and dive into it right now. So starting with conversion. What even is conversion? Well, conversion is the leads generated from the traffic that make it all the way down to the point of actually buying the product or whatever you're selling, right? So that is conversion. Once they convert and buy, it's conversion. And you want to have your conversion rates as high as possible. So how do you do this, right? Well, there's one mechanic that you can use to increase your conversion rates that works every time, and it is copy, right? It's copywriting. If you have good copywriting, you will have better conversion. You need good copy in your emails, your landing pages, your VSL scripts, ad scripts. You need good copy in your whole system, or else it's just not going to convert as high, because it does not have the the art of persuasion, which is copywriting through written word. I made a whole video on copywriting specifically and how you can use it to become a millionaire in 2030. So if you haven't watched that yet, go watch that after this video, because I'm not going to dive into copywriting in this video, because it can take hours, honestly. But go watch that video and you'll have everything you need to know about that, and that will give you everything you need to know about conversion. So we're just going to move on to churn, right? So churn is the amount of customers that leave your paid program every month and stop paying that subscription, right? So the amount that's actually leaving, that's your churn. And you want your churn to be as low as possible. Obviously, you want your churn percentage to be as low as possible. And this is really important when you have a paid community, because this is where you're going to make most of the money. And nobody talks about this. I honestly, this is probably one of the most important parts of the whole process, because the richest people aren't people who can sell the most customers every month. The richest people are the people who keep them in this business. You want to keep your customers, and that's what you can do when you master managing your churn and reducing it. To give an example, if you're selling 20 customers a month, getting 20 new customers a month, maybe not that high compared to others, but you keep all of those customers for a year, you'll be 10 times bigger than you were when you first started, because you just focused on keeping them and you didn't lose any. And now you have this perfect community and everything's going great, instead of the person who's focusing on, okay, we're going to sell this many customers a month, we're going to get 50, right? So maybe they're selling 50, bringing in 50 customers to the community, but they're losing them all by the end of the year. They're going to be right where they started, while you're going to be 10 times bigger. So that's why churn is important. So I'm going to dive into it and actually explain how you can reduce your churn. The biggest thing for this is you have to provide value, right? Ask yourself, would you stay in this program for longer than a month, or are you going to pay for it again if you were the customer? So you have to give them value. And another thing, you have to actually be tracking your churn and understanding it. So I'm going to quickly explain how you can calculate your churn percentages. And it's pretty easy if you know your average customer lifetime, right? So if the average customer is spending only 1 month, so they're leaving after 1 month, that's 100% churn, right? If they stay for 2 months, that is 50% churn. 3 months, 33%, 4 months, 25%, and so on and so forth, right? The churn is the reciprocal of the customer lifetime, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how it works. 3 months, 33%, and it just keeps going like that. It's the reciprocal of the lifetime. So that's how you figure out the actual percentage, and I'm going to explain why this percentage number is so important in a little bit once we get to pricing, because you need this to be able to calculate your customer lifetime value, which we'll get into that. We'll get into all that in pricing, which we're actually going to jump to right now. Pricing. What are you charging your customer for, right? For your community or your course. What are you going to charge them? And the problem is that most people try to bundle this in one. They try to bundle their community and their course in one monthly subscription. And this is just an awful way to do it. Why would your customers continue to pay a monthly fee if they already got that value up front, that one-time value? So instead of packaging your course and your community together, you should have them separate. So the course you sell for, let's say, $97, and this is just a one-time payment. And once they complete that course, they're also in the community, and the community will be like $30 or however much you want to have it listed as. So that they're like, oh, this is super valuable, and now I have this. They're going to continue to pay for this if they got value in that, if that makes sense. You just have to make sure the ongoing value is worth the price. This is called big head, long tail. When you offer the value up front and after that, it just kind of falls off, right? That's called big head, long tail. So you want to avoid that. The other thing about pricing, the way I see people actually going about coming up with a price drives me crazy, because it just is the complete wrong way of doing things. Most people just look at their competition and do their pricing based off of that, right? They look at the market and, oh, this guy's selling it for $30, this guy's selling it for 40. Why don't I just do 35? And they'll come up with a random number, essentially, right? Don't do that, okay? Do not do that. Your competition has nothing to do with you, and it shouldn't be what you are coming up with your price based off of. You should be coming up with your price based on how much your customers are willing to spend, right? And it's obviously, you don't know this at first, but the biggest thing that you can do is split test different prices and analyze your prices. And that's why understanding your churn and your conversion rates and everything I talked about is important, because you can actually master pricing. And when you master pricing, it's the most important lever, because it's what will make you the most money and increase your customer lifetime value, which is essentially what you're doing with pricing. You're optimizing for the highest conversion rates. What price will get you that? What price will get you the lowest churn, and at the same time, the highest customer lifetime value. You're looking for that perfect price, and you can do that by analyzing everything, doing the calculations, and looking at the numbers, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to run the numbers, how to calculate pricing, and give you an example of what it would look like for somebody like you who's selling a course or community, or working for somebody who's selling a course or community. All right, so let's just get right into it, right into the numbers. So let's say you're selling a community. This community was priced at $77. So this was the old price, and it was doing all right, but you want to test a new price. So you're going to sell it for $137, let's say. So the things you have to calculate are the churn percentages, which I talked about earlier. I'm going to show you how to actually do that. The conversion rates, which CRM will calculate that, but you have to know what to do with that. And then the customer lifetime value. So I'm going to show you how to calculate the customer lifetime value first, because that's the first step. You're going to have both of the prices, $77 and $137, and you're going to divide that by whatever your churn percentage was. So if the 77 price point was churning at 3 months, it would be 33% churn. So you would divide that by 33%, and if the 137 was you're churning at 2 months, you would have 50% churn here. So you divide that, and then you would get 231, I believe, and 274. So this would be your customer lifetime value, right? So you look at this and you might say, oh, 274, that's more than 231, but you haven't accounted for your conversion rates and the other issues that you might run into when you have a higher price point. So we're going to save these numbers here. Now what you have to do to figure out which is generating you the most income is multiply the customer lifetime value by your conversion rates, which your CRM will tell you your conversion rates, right? So That's how you'll get that. Let's say the 77 price point was converting at 4% and the 137 was converting at 3%. We're also going to assume that both of these funnels are generating the same amount of traffic, getting the same amount of leads. Let's say 10,000. So all you have to do is take the converted leads and multiply them by the customer lifetime value. So that would be 400 times 231 and 300 times 274. And then once you calculate this would be your monthly retaining revenue and what you're actually taking home. So this would equal out to 92,400 a month, and this would be 82,200 a month. All right, so which one of these is bigger? Ta-da, the original price point of the 77. And you would have never known that if you didn't do the math and actually calculate it out. I'm not a big math guy. I never liked math, but this is something that I had to learn because it's so important, and the results that it gets you is totally worth it to just learn a couple of calculations and learn how the process kind of works for that. So this is what you need to do. Once you do this, the more you analyze price and the more you test out different things, the better results you will get. And I've heard people complain about, oh, what if my existing customers don't like that I raised the price, or they complain about it? And honestly, my answer to that is look at your churn percentages. If you're churning at 50%, they're going to be gone in 2 months anyways. So you don't have to worry about their opinions because you're going to have new customers coming in, and those customers will be the ones that you keep because it'll be a good price point, and then you'll focus on reducing the churn after that. And that pretty much sums up pricing. So to summarize everything, if you want to make more money with your community, you have to drive more traffic to it. You have to convert that traffic at higher percentages, price it as high as you can, and reduce as much churn as possible. So those are the 4 levers. And if you focus on these 4 things and improving these 4 things, I guarantee you will make more money. You'll have a formula that you didn't have before, and I guarantee you'll make a lot more money using it. Right? When I'm going in funnel hacking for these businesses, these are the 4 things that I focus on, and it always gets results. Right? So master these 4 things, whether you're a coach or a service provider. And it's a lot, right? Each of these could be dissected a lot deeper, and I could have gone deeper into it, but the thing is, it's just different for everybody. It just depends on the offer and the program. But if you are watching this and you're a coach or course seller and you are lost and confused and you don't know what to do with any of this information, just take a deep breath, relax, because I can help you, right? For completely free, I'll show you what I would do to optimize each and every one of these levers and your whole entire funnel. So I will draft you up a completely done for you, step-by-step sales funnel that you can use for you and your business to increase your traffic, increase your conversions, figure out the best pricing, and eliminate churn, right? And I'll do this for completely free. All you have to do is click the first link in the description, answer a couple questions, schedule a call, and then I will come to you with this completed funnel in the call, and we'll go over it. And you can either walk away with the completed funnel and do it yourself, or I can do it for you. It's up to you. So go do that right now. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found value in this. I really do believe everything I said, and this probably is one of the most important videos I'll ever make. There's a lot more value where it came from in my Twitter, also in the description, second link. So go ahead and check that out. All right, bye.